these guys. And I've said it to Angelo. I said it to Mike North. I've said it to Howard numerous times. Well, I've said it to Mike Francesa. I've said it to all those guys. You may not like Francesa. I'm more of a dog guy. So, like, I loved like Chris Russo. I know Chris Russo since Orlando. When he started there, he was a producer. Then he went up to WFAN and became a producer. Russo was a producer of the Francesa show. And then Mark Chernoff and them guys put those two dudes together. And Angelo was even talking about it last week. So without further ado, man, I can't wait to talk. We're going to talk a little Eagles too, by the way. But here he is. Make sure you check out that fabulous podcast. My friend, Howard Eskin, joins us now right here on the program. How you doing, Howard?
Oh, I'm just great. You won't let it die, will you?
I don't
you won't let it die.
No, because old school radio people know a thing called about recycling. And I absolutely love it. And how do you feel about the fact that this thing is just now you got other hosts bitching at everybody? You got others say, I mean, what was the main point that you were trying to make about WIP?
Why did I say something?
Yeah, you think? I mean, the state of WIP, you two guys went in on it.
You know what?
Came off the top rope.
It really was. All this is last week's news, and they can't let it go because they just don't have anything else to talk about. Really, when you break it right down, they're groveling for content. So they make this content. It's just, I can't believe that it's reverberated over, what's it, close to 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
It's close to 2 weeks now. I don't understand it. It's a simple observation. And, when people say, well, things aren't the same as they used to be, does that make them better? I'll give the NBA is garbage, and it's not what it used to be. So what are you going to say? This NBA is better. You just got to move with it. No, it's not. It sucks. And there are different things. Football is entertaining. I'll talk about the NFL, but is it as good as it used to be? No, it's not as good. Are the athletes better athletes? But because there's less practice, which is part of the rules, and I get all that. Is that as good as it used to be? No, it doesn't mean that you can't express your opinion and it's not as good. It's just things, you could say they evolve. I guess you could say they evolve.
For the better?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. They evolve. It's a different time. Obviously, when you listen and hear people have said it. I mean, why did this come up? Because they in the business know it's not as good. The people know it's not as good. And it's what it is. It's not going to change.
Do you think, Howard, that the current lineup at WIP serves the sports fans of Philadelphia, or do you think they serve the sports teams of Philadelphia?
I don't know how. I really don't. I don't think they serve. I'll say it this way: I don't think they serve everybody as well. I know they're in business, and that's all part of it. I mean, we were in business back then too. So, I know that I don't even know how to answer that. I don't know if I want to answer that question, to be honest with you. I don't know how to.
I think you don't want to answer it because I think unlike Angelo, you're in a tough spot there. And you're in a tough spot. And I think that how you've handled it has been exceptional. But the question to me is, and I was talking to Angelo about this, Howard, guys like you and Angelo, you didn't give a shit about what the team said to you. You talked to the people of Philly. And when you hear that station today, even when you hear FAN, when you hear Sports Talk today, there is no way that these people today that are on the air serve the listener. They do not serve the listener. They serve the corporate guy. And I get it, like you said.
No, I think they serve themselves. I think they serve themselves.
Okay.
The difference is when I had a disagreement, and I'll just talk about the way I dealt with it. When I had a disagreement, whether it was a player, a manager, um, the ownership, I was always there if they wanted to talk to me, to talk to me. And you can't worry about that because they're not going anywhere. I mean, regardless of what you say about a team, they're not going anywhere. Uh, they're still going to be partners because the money works for both of them, and that's really, it works for the radio station when you have good teams that people will turn in the radio station, so it helps the overall audience. I don't know that it helps the shows that much. I mean, you get players on because they pay them, and the coach technically is getting paid when he's on once a week. The football coach, he's getting paid once to be on once a week. That's part of his contract. But I honestly don't know that they really care to serve the team, but they will serve the players that they have on a weekly basis. So, but if a player's straight up and good, they'll understand. I mean, because you just talk to them, you explain it, and if you're wrong, you explain it to them, and you deal with it that way. I mean, that's the way I've always dealt. So I don't know how to answer your question. I don't think they serve the teams. I don't think I don't think they try to serve the teams. I think they try to serve themselves. And it really goes back to the heart of what I said. And this is why it reverberated so much now for a couple of weeks, because not all the hosts are average. I'll use the word average, but they're just sports talk radio just isn't as good. That was my point. I mean, it's just not as good. Whether you believe that they're serving the teams, I don't believe that they're serving the teams. No, I honestly, they just do what they do, but they don't have as much insight as to what's going on and the business. I made the point.
You think they don't work hard enough at their craft?
I don't think they do the things that they need to do to be better. Whether that's working hard enough,
which is,
every once in a while, go down and, and talk to the players. You don't have to talk to them. Most of them have nothing to say. But there are times when you get to know somebody that he'll share information with you so you can kind of scope it out a little bit more. That's not what they do. That's not what they believe they have to do. They just believe they go on the air, ramble on with the bullshit, and just whatever. Sometimes it's good bullshit. Sometimes it's not so good. But it's just the quality of what's on the air is just not as good, whether they want to believe it or not.
Why do you think they're so sensitive on this? When you I mean, obviously it's
I can't speak for
it's
them.
you and Angelo, obviously the guys who were the cornerstones, and first you and then Angelo. Angelo even pointed that out. It was first you and then he came.
I started the station. I did the first sports talk show there. I started the sports talk on this.
By the way, Tony Bruno was on with us too. And Tony said the same thing about you. He's like, Howard used to come on, and I was doing news back in the day, but Howard was the first guy that wanted to take the platform of sports and create it into something. And I didn't realize what I was doing. And I was putting Howard on from a game. I didn't know I was doing news then at the time. I wasn't really doing sports. And you were the guy that did it and then created that whole thing. Is that probably why they're a little sensitive, is because Howard, again, you can't talk sports talk you can't say the history of sports talk in Philly without bringing your name and then Angelo's name up. You just can't.
Well, I think the company itself tries to forget that. But I don't know really how to deal with it, whether they,
you think David Yadgaroff was part of that? He's retiring now. Do you think he was part of trying to
I'm sorry, you're saying he's retiring?
Yeah.
He's retiring.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, he's retiring.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's going to seek other opportunities, right?
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, he's going to spend more time with his family. Oh, the kids are all away. The wife works full time. Oh, yeah. Okay. He's retiring. Oh, okay.
That's just
That's
what
good.
with the writing. I'm just going by what they're writing.
I didn't know that's what he was doing, retiring.
How do you think he did as a guy running that station?
Well, I know one thing. He fired a lot of people. Maybe it wasn't all his doing. Maybe it wasn't all his doing, but he still.
Hey. How do you think he ran WIP?
I think WIP kind of ran itself. I really do. I think it kind of ran itself. I mean, the business wise, that obviously the people on the air don't handle. But I think the guys on the air, at times they were very good, and they did what they did. So yeah, I don't want to get into.
Did you have a good relationship with
here's the bottom line with their senior vice president, whatever the hell his title is.
His name is David Yadgaroff. I just they know. Yeah.
Okay. It's what's going on in the business. This is what's going on in the business. They just
you're a fucking legend.
It's what's going on in the business. They don't have the money. I mean, he had to fire a lot of people, some justly and some not. But there's the problem with the business. I'll say the business is there's a lack of loyalty in the business. It's just, and they're not the only place. It's happening all over, and it's not over yet. It's not over yet. It's just there's not enough revenue. There's not enough revenue in the business.
When they pushed Wheezy Kramer out, and when they pushed all those people out at Odyssey, and then David Fields got pushed out, and all of that stuff at the end, you knew when that stock, when they bought CBS, and that thing was at $75 a share, and now it's at 10 cents a share, whatever the frig it is, you knew that all those things were not going to be the same, and only stations like IP, the Hub, FAN, all those.
There's some good solid stations, and within the company, there are some still solid stations, but are they as solid as that was my whole point. I'm saying the same thing I said before. That was my whole point. It's just they're not as solid as they used to be, regardless of what they roll out there and they tell you. Why would they be letting all these people go? Odyssey. I don't know about Cumulus. Odyssey fired approximately 500 people in 2025. Call it layoffs, call it fire, whatever you want to call it. 500 people, and that was written by news outlets, close to 500. So why are they doing that? They're doing that because that's just the state of that was one of my points. The state of the business is not the same. It's sad. It's a shame. I feel bad for people. I get it. I understand it. But that's the state of the business. And hey, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if in most cases, when they get rid of people, they don't really replace people because they just put part-time people in there.
Or producers.
But the thing is I'm sure Odyssey's not done yet. Well, I'm not sure. I suspect Odyssey's not done yet. And there's going to be more people to go. And I would doubt whether they're really going to replace those people because it's about saving money and trying to right the financial ship of a business. Hey, there was a TV station in Philadelphia. The news director was there for 18 years. He walked out the door and nobody even knew he was gone. 18 years, and he walked out the door and he was gone, and they're not even saying anything. It's like television is in television news. So the television stations, the local TV stations, that's why they run so much news. They try to generate more revenue. It's the same news every hour. But And who knows when AI is going to take over? I'm telling you, there's stations in America
Yeah.
that I know that are experimenting
Yeah.
with AI.
With hosts, with AI and host. Yes.
Yeah. And television stations doing the same thing.
Yep. Yep.
That's my point. The times have changed. So it's all, and they try to, put a Band-Aid on it or put some lipstick on it and make it look good. And it's just, I'm going to spend more time with my family, and I'm going to, come on now.
Hey,
Howard, anybody, I'm going to tell you this, anybody that's quoted when they leave somewhere that says they're going to spend more time with their family, and they might have a great family, and I'm not questioning their family. They supported their family by being at that place.
They got fired.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to spend more time with my family.
They got fired. In your opinion,
and you know what? And I hope everybody, has dinner every night of the week together. I mean, it's just, but that's
Howard,
not the way it is.
When did you think WIP was at its height with talent?
That's hard because I was there full time for 25 years. We grew and we got better. We kept on, the level kept on rising, but that probably ended 10 to 15 years ago, where it kept on rising. So in that period from 86, when I did the first show, and it's not just me, because obviously people there had to be good too.
Yeah.
And everybody had to make that station or help that station being successful. But from 86 till like 2010, 2011 ish, I think my last day full time, and I did the first show on FM too, I think was 2011. And they were, things were really pretty good in that whole period of time. And then it just, for whatever reason, it wasn't the same, whether they wouldn't pay the host, they wouldn't pay the management, they wouldn't pay people the same kind of money. And money never, and they're not the only company that's like that. Companies all over America are like that, and with the way things are going. So, but I guess I don't know what the height was, but somewhere when it started to grow from 1986 into like the 2010s, there was some really good radio there. There was some really good radio.
Howard, so for me, my first thing with Odyssey was I left the company. I left the Mighty 1090. That's where Wolfman Jack all started back in the day. And I was doing that LA.
Wolfman Jack, boy, there's a guy that goes back.
He did the mornings, and I actually did more in radio.
I never met him, but I obviously knew of him.
Well, that stick was in like over in Mexico. It went all up the coast. So I knew then I had just left, and I got a $400,000 contract from Odyssey to go over across the street. And I said, wow, okay. So it's the highest I had ever made any kind of money in radio. And so I go over there, and sure enough, within a matter of 6 weeks, they go like this: listen, we're going to send you to Boston and EEI. And I was like, okay, that's kind of around my neck of the woods. I'm from Connecticut. And so I had a 3-year contract on the table there, was going to do that. And all of a sudden, all the people started saying, no, we can't pay 400. We can't do this. We can't do that. We're not. And it started like in 2019 when they started just chopping heads, where they just started like,
that part of it's sad. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about anything. I'm not happy that I said what I said, and then all of a sudden, who knew it was going to reverberate for. It's still reverberating for a couple of weeks, and you're bringing this shit up too. But it's just, I'm not happy that it's the way it is now. But I'm looking at it as fact.
Anything
I'm allowed to have an opinion.
Anything you regret saying?
I can't think of everything I said, but I made the point that it's not the same. The business is not the same. Radio business is kind of going like this. The television news is television's kind of going like this too. And when you break it down, there's not as many people. The audience numbers aren't the same. I don't care what a share is. A share is baloney. Like if I take 40% of 50 cents, that's a big share. But if I take 40%, 40 cents of 100 cents, that's not as big a share. So what's happening in the business, and sports talk radio is obviously a part of it, is the audiences aren't as big. So the share is an irrelevant
pie
number.
smaller.
Yeah, the pie's smaller. So, they can give you all that. And it's a shame. It's a shame. So the revenues can't be as good. That's why
that's what Angelo said. Angelo went like this because some of the hosts fired back at you two and said this, that the station has never sounded better. And they have the best talent that they've ever had there. And hey, John Marks says you guys are just angry old dudes.
I don't want to get mad at John Marks because I like John. He just tried to get into the fray. But I like John.
Okay.
And when he was at the station, I talked to him about some things, trying to help him stay there. And I was hoping he'd stay there. And I was still a part of that station. I was hoping he'd stay there. And he just, for multiple reasons, he decided he wanted to leave.
But here's what Angelo said about you guys. Those guys can say and crow all they want. How's their revenue doing?
Why do you think they're getting rid of so many people? I mean, how's the revenue doing? They've got to find a way to there's still hundreds of millions of dollars in debt. Even though I think they're out of Chapter 11 bankruptcy, but that's because they were bought.
Divorced the company.
Well, that's because 51% of the company was bought, and that's when David Field got fired.
That's right.
And so even the owner of the stage, that's what's amazing. Yeah,
I know.
He was the CEO.
David Field, the owner of the company, lost his job.
Yeah, right.
And I actually like the guy.
Who's that?
David Field. I actually like the guy. I mean,
he's not a bad guy. No, he's not a bad guy. No, he's fine. But it's a fact of life, and it's unfortunate sometimes. Sometimes you just got to roll with it, and you got to try to make the best of what it is. But if the revenues were that good, and they're not as good, and if they deny that, they would be lying. They're not as good. That's why there's so many people being let go. That's why, and there's going to be more. It's not over. They got to find a way to balance it in some way, and I don't know how. I don't know how they can balance it.
Let me ask one last question on this here, and then I want to ask you a couple legal questions here. Let me ask you one more.
One more. No, you're not.
Those guys.
You know what? I don't want to start this all over again. But it is what it is. Hey, listen, when the top guy in the station is going to be gone, because he's going to spend more time with his family. His wife works full time.
They fired David Yadgaroff. They fired him. Why can't they come out and say that? Because
it's just everybody likes to, well, I don't want to get into why, because I can't read their mind. Everybody tries to make things nice. And it's just.
Howard, did he not have your back at the end of everything?
What's that?
Did he not have your back at the end?
Not a little bit. Not a little bit. No, not a little bit. So obviously, he just there was no loyalty there. It just, hey, listen, they wanted to save money, knock themselves out. What was said about me was 100% false. So knock themselves out, and it just, so you got to suck it up. You got to move on. You just got to make the best of it. I do podcasts to try to have fun. And make a little money, but it's not about the money anymore for me. It's just about having fun. But no, he was not. There was no reason. Zero. They did not have any reason. That they said they did, but they didn't, to let me go. And it's just, no. Did he have my back? No, he stabbed me in the front, not in the back.
Let's end it there. I want to end that on that there because I love that ending here. All right.
Oh, you do, huh?
I do, because I will be tweeting that out. I love
No,
that.
don't do that. Don't
I
do
won't.
that.
I won't. If you say
Please.
no, I won't.
It's
If
just
you
it's
say
please,
no,
yeah. It's a
if you
sarcastic phrase. Whether people want to,
wait,
it's a
I
sarcastic
promise
phrase.
you I won't because you asked me
Okay.
to, or I
Okay.
would. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe I'll reword it. But hey, anyway. Hey, all right. How would you handle this AJ Brown crap going on? How would you handle
AJ
this?
who?
The receiver number 11 for the
That's
Eagles.
another thing. That's another thing I have a problem with, because there's nothing to talk about, and you're guilty of this too. It's AJ Brown 24/7. If anything happens, it won't happen till June 1st. If anything happens, it's not going to happen. So we got to go through the rest of March, April, and May. And it's AJ Brown 24/7. Let's beat it to death. Let's beat. As far as AJ Brown doesn't exist in my world. Great
Why?
receiver, but he does because there's nothing new, and there won't be anything new.
But here,
It
okay.
won't be anything new.
Okay, well, here's a question then. Well, here's a person like myself that actually does a little bit of work then on it. Okay. Would it be a bad idea then to have AJ Brown on this football team in 26, knowing that a player can't stand a quarterback and can't stand the offense that they're in? Would it be a good thing or a bad thing if he starts the season?
Well, the offense may be better. They got a new offensive coordinator.
The guy hates the player. He hates the quarterback.
I don't know that he hates him. He doesn't like a lot of the results from the offense.
If you had a partner in the room with you and you thought that guy sucked, you'd be on top of that guy like you were Jimmy Snuka coming off the top rope on how he sucked. That's what this guy's doing here. The quarterback.
He's not saying anything anymore. He's making guys like you nibble at his feet. It's like being nibbled to death by ducks is what it's like. You're just nibbling at his feet. He's got the picture of Edelman, or the framed jersey of Edelman. He's got the Patriots blanket. Give me a freaking break. Stop it already. He is playing you and everybody else. Playing you. And he loves it. This is great for him.
Oh my God.
And you know what? If he's on the team, if he's on the Eagles this year, he'll still be good. But there's a lot of receivers coming out in the draft, so they can start the ball rolling again. And then, as a football team looks at it, probably save some money. But AJ Brown is old news.
Okay, what's this then? What would a season look like without AJ Brown on the Eagles for DeVonta Smith? Do you think that guy's a true number one receiver?
DeVonta Smith?
Yep,
100%.
So you think he would look like JSN up in Seattle if they got rid of that guy? You're looking at a 1,500-yard guy a year with DeVonta. You think
because they would spread it around and they'd still want to run Barkley. Remember, you still have a running back that you're going to – what they want to do is run the football. And they're going to pass it. You're never going to have although Seattle, I don't know how Seattle did it because their runner, how many yards did he had? What, about 1,400 yards?
No, he only had 1,000.
Okay, so they passed the ball more than the Eagles like to pass the ball. I thought he had more than that. But that just tells you. So they pass the ball more, but the Eagles don't want to do that. They don't want to put the quarterback in a situation where there's more tendency to turn the ball over with interceptions. So DeVonta Smith, back to your original question, he's a number one receiver. He can go deep. He's got speed. He's tough. He gets hit and he gets right up. He'll go over the middle. He'll do whatever you want him to do. And he just keeps quiet. Whether he gets 2 targets or 10 targets, he's the same guy. He is a number one receiver.
Does he have a number one quarterback? Does he have a quarterback?
No, I mean, he's not as good as Pat. No, come on. You know the answer to that. And what are you asking me for? He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. He's not any of those guys. He's not those guys. He's somewhere 6 to 10, 7 to 10. And
That's not
some
bad.
people in swimming, some people in football won't put him in the top 10. I'm just trying to be nice because I'm just a nice guy.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm a nice guy. You know what? Here's the thing that you got to do. You gotta try to, be somebody. You can't say positive things about things that aren't good. But you just try to move on. If Jalen Hurts, and I don't think the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl this year, but it's early. You don't know what their full team is yet, because you got to reset the salary cap, and you got to rebuild the offensive line. It's just Lane Johnson's still there, and
Howard, I've noticed something about you since you're
okay,
more of a pacifist now. I mean, you're not.
Well, people didn't say that for 2 weeks after Angelo and I got on.
Well, no. I agree. Are you kidding me? Of course, I was going to jump on that diving board. Are you crazy? It's a goaltender's dream right there. That is a goaltender. That's a Ron Hextall kick save.
I like
on
Ron
that
Hextall,
stuff. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, especially when you have hosts now at WIP saying that they're better than you guys.
Hey, you know what? I like some of the people there.
Well, I would assume.
Well, no, I do. It's just, but it's just such nonsense. It's nonsense, and it's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. It's not. The world changes, they change, and I don't want to hear people, well, they've evolved. Evolved into what? It's just, so whatever the case may be, you just try to, hey, is Jalen Hurts, he won an MVP, but I think somebody on that defense, because they got it rolling, because they just made Patrick Mahomes look silly. That defensive line, and Zach Bond had a great Super Bowl, but they always give it to the quarterback. So, God bless him. And the quarterback got
Howard,
it.
do you think sports talk radio is dying?
Sports talk radio is what?
You think it's dying?
It's not as good as it used to be. And I think the business is.
Because if you want to use one thing too, look at late night TV. Late night TV is dying. I mean, look what's happening. It's dying. So platforms can die. Do you think sports talk radio?
Yeah, I think it's in trouble, but it'll never go away because there's nothing else to do. It's like music on FM stations. You go to different availabilities, podcasts. I guess people are still listening to Sirius because you can listen to the music that you want to listen to. They don't know how to put together a blend of music. It's not like they don't know how. They don't know what people like anymore. Like the oldie station is not, it's more new stuff than it used to be. So the radio business is in trouble. Is it dying? It's not going to die. It'll be around, but it's not going to be. Yeah, if you want to use that word, it's dying.
Here's why.
It's not as good.
Here's my problem with it. 96 of the top 100 television shows was NFL, and the rest was college football and fill in.
Yeah.
Howard, think of this. If you don't have live sports programming going on in broadcasting today, you might as well shut NBC and CBS and ABC down. Nobody watches mainstream television for anything outside of live sports programming. So how can that be? Look at the ratings that you got for the NCAA tournament.
You know why they watch live?
I was talking to Phil Martelli about this 2 days ago, and Martelli's telling me, look at the ratings. They had 10 million people per game watching in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. And I'm going, don't tell me sports talk is dying. I think it's dudes sitting in the chairs, and it's dudes behind the mic that are killing it.
Well, there's no question the NCAA tournament is probably the most exciting time because it's a one and done situation.
I
It's
love it.
yeah. Well, obviously it's good. What they've done to the sport is bad with the NIL. And Phil, I had Phil on too, and he just he explained that. But the thing is, live programming is what the networks buy because people have to watch you don't want to watch it on demand, which now you can watch any show, I
Yeah.
guess, on demand, but you can scroll through the commercials where you can't scroll. You're not going to watch sporting events on demand because you already know when already know the results. You're not going to watch it again. You don't have to watch the commercials, but you have to watch. That's why they pay so much money for. I mean, to pay as much as they're paying for the networks for NBA is a joke, but it's live sports programming that you have to watch and you don't watch on demand. Where radio, there's no reason to go back to it. And podcasts, you can always go back to it. It's like having it on demand. You know it. I know it by doing what we do. And it's just different. There's too many other options. But that's why sports you're watching because you want it. Watching it live is the only way to really enjoy it because you don't know the results. And that's why sports gets so much money from the networks, and it's unconscionable. I mean, there's going to baseball games on so many different channels because all they care about is getting money. It's just making more money. I mean, the Phillies have a series against the Mets this year. It's on three different stations. People will scrambling to find the games, and the Phillies Mets is obviously a big series, but they'll be scrambling to find the game. It's too bad for the public. I'm going to mention something else, which I think is I mentioned it on my show on Saturday morning. Harry Kalas is a legendary human being voice.
Yep.
Did NFL films for a while, but his claim to fame, I mean, he did all the sports. His claim to fame was Phillies baseball. It was the best. And the radio guy they have now is outstanding. Scott Fransky, outstanding. But Harry Kalas was the best. They had a restaurant with his name, food place called a restaurant in left field called Harry the K's.
You know his kid?
Yeah, Todd.
Yeah.
I did a game with Todd in spring training for the cable station.
Great.
I'm the only guy that worked with both father and son in the booth. I did the ninth inning of games.
Dad when he was working with the Rays.
Yeah, he working in Florida. Todd's terrific. I love Todd. But Harry Kalas, the restaurant was called Harry the K's. Gone this year. Gone. Corporate name. Harry the K's is gone. It was called Harry the K's. Gone. They had a microphone with Harry the K on it in left field. Advertising took over for that. And the marketing people at the Phillies say, well, he's still going to sing High Hopes after the Phillies win. And he still has a statue in left field in the radio booth. That's not the same. He was always in front of people in left field, Harry the K. But the problem with sports, it's all about the money. Billionaire owners. And it's all about the money. There's never enough. And that's sad when you lack the loyalty of the best radio announcer in the history. And by some back in the day when I was a little kid, and I remember Bill Campbell was really good, but Harry Kalas was the best, absolutely the best. And the lack of loyalty taking Harry the K's down because they have to have a corporate sponsor that's going to pay millions. Never enough. It's never enough. Lack of loyalty is a problem in our country, in the business, and in sports. It's just
I want to end it here with this because
you already got me to say more than I wanted to say.
Wait! I just got a text message from a friend of ours and said that David Yadgaroff did an interview over at Barrett Media, and he's very proud of the impact that he had at WIP when he was there.
I'm sure he's proud. He's going to spend more time with his family.
You are gold, man.
what? Hey, listen. Hey, if you want to go off on a silver carpet, and that's fine. That's
Off on your
fine.
back,
What's that?
on your guys' back. Come on.
Well, uh, 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 but it's just. Hey, listen. They don't want to say they have financial problems. It's just whatever. He's proud. Yeah, I'm proud. What does that mean? I'm proud of what I did for that radio station for close
You
to
built
40
it.
years.
You built it.
Yeah. So, but I don't make a big deal of that. I'm not going to make a
Well,
big
they
deal.
should.
Yeah. But again, that goes back to
Hey, listen, Howard.
companies with loyalty,
Howard, I got a
and
guy over
heart.
here. I got a jersey over here that was given to me by Leroy Salmon. Okay.
Yep.
Leroy Salmon was one of the greatest players of all time in NFL history.
Yep.
And when you talk about Buccaneer history, I always talk about the Mount Rushmore. And I talk about people like that we stood on the shoulders of in the NFL. There's a protocol in my life on how you do things and how people set the way and the road for people to do this thing. Unfortunately, there's been a curve in the road on the off ramp to where people have forgotten that and want to erase that history.
Heart and soul don't
that.
exist as much. Heart and soul. You have heart, your soul, and loyalty. Heart, soul, loyalty.
Could you do sports talk radio today?
Yeah, sure I could. Why couldn't I? I mean,
I would ask
people enjoy the show that I do on podcast.
Corporate would be up your ass, though, more with things that you say on things that you did in the past.
No, I mean, like, what could they? I have opinions. I don't think they would have an opinion. Be mad at me if I criticized a player or a team. I mean, it's just.
So if you criticize Jeffrey Lurie, you don't think the.
But I don't. I don't think there's reason to criticize Jeffrey Lurie. So if I criticized him, but if I criticized
Howie,
Howie's done a good job. But I criticized Marion Campbell, who was a head coach of the Eagles at one time, and we talked about it. And it was okay. I says, "Hey, Marion, the players are talking behind your back." So that's what I said. What I said on the air. I mean, people that know me, and they know that I'm opinionated. They know that people that know me know that I'm nice to people. I had somebody get in touch with me from one of the teams. I hadn't seen that person or talked to that person for at least 15 years. He just happened to touch base with me on social media. Said, I just wanted to say hello. I said, why? He said, because you were always nice to me. But it's so much easier to be nice. And I understand loyalty is difficult nowadays because money gets involved in that. But you can still be loyal. You can still have a heart. And you can still do the right things for people. I mean, I know people that got let go from WIP 25 years, over 30 years. And it's just somebody got fired on Zoom, not even by their boss. That's just disrespectful. It just because they were just trying to save money. And I get it. It started, I'm telling you, it started with me, and it just, I'll be honest, it started with me. I didn't realize it at the time. I knew what they did was wrong, but it started with me, and then 500 people in 2025 in the company, the whole country in the company got let go.
Listen, there's a question here from somebody. Can you ask Howard if there's a media market teams out there that you think does it the right way?
Yes, because yes. Now you're going to ask me to name them.
Yeah. Well, give me one. Give me one station that you think does it the right way.
Oh, station. I thought you said a team.
Or a team. Wherever you want to go with
I'm telling you, the teams have to work with the people. I think the PR guy at the Phillies is really a nice. He was Kevin Gregg's son, the former umpire.
Okay.
I think he's a great guy. I think and I'm going to miss somebody. I know a couple of the PR people with the Giants, and they seem to be really nice people in the interactions I've had with them. I know somebody from the Arizona Cardinals, the PR guy, terrific. It's not what people say is not always nice, but you deal with it, and you just try to get the right message out and do it the right way. I don't want to not mention the guy from the Denver Broncos. They have a couple of guys out there.
Nakamura, like
Uh,
Sakamura. What I forget what his name was out there. He was a pretty good guy out there. Yes.
yeah, great guy,
Yep.
great guy.
Yep.
From the Philadelphia area. It's just, but they're teams. I'm trying to think. Baseball teams I haven't had. There's a guy that's from Philadelphia that works for the Cubs in the PR department. Now I can speak of teams. Now that was really the answer was teams, right?
Yeah, I got another one here for you. Is there? Do you think that
There's other people. I'm remiss if I don't mention all the people in baseball, and I apologize because I know there's some good people out there.
Do you think the media today sides with the teams too much?
Oh, do I have to answer that question? Side with them. They get down on their knees for them. It's just, are you kidding me? The media just is not the written, and they're still the spoken
Do you
media.
think WIP kisses the Eagles' ass too much?
Sometimes, no, not too much as it. Sometimes they do, but I'll do this. I'm going to deal with more of the written media or the whatever it is. I can't remember the last time they've been critical. I'm just going to speak here in Philadelphia that they've been critical, really critical of the teams here. When I say teams, they aren't with the Sixers for the most part. The Flyers are on their way up. It's really hard to criticize the Flyers. They're going in the right direction. Right? They're really the coach, I think, is terrific. Rick Tocchet, I think Danny Briere, the general manager, is terrific, and Keith Jones, the president, terrific. So you're not going to have that be a problem. But just trying to think of the media for the Eagles. Once in a while, you get a little bit of a 2.7 earthquake on the Richter scale, which is nothing, right? A 2.7. Once in a while, you get a 2.7. The Sixers, forget it. The Phillies, my gosh, you might not get some inside. They always, it's one thing. You get inside information because you're good and you work hard. I think there's a belief that you get inside information because you kiss their ass. And I'm just trying to think, and there used to be a lot of tough writers that cover the Phillies. Doesn't exist anymore.
Howard,
it's kind of a shame. It's kind of a shame. It's kind of a shame. But hey, listen, they're good people. They just don't want to take the plunge that used to be there in taking the plunge. I got along with a lot of those people.
May I ask you a personal question?
May I?
May I? No, a personal question. And you answer it any way you want, okay? All right. Do you find that since your son is in sports talk radio, that it's tough to talk about the business sometimes because you two may have a difference of opinion on approach, on what and how you go after teams? Has it been a good thing having both of you in the profession and in the profession he loves? Has that been a good thing for you two?
I think it's great for him because he was in management. He said he wanted to be in management. Then he obviously wanted to be on the air. It's a good thing for him as long as he's successful. That's a good thing. And
of course,
my kids are successful, and I'm happy for that. Hey, listen, when you take, and I never wanted them to pay a penny for their education, and I'm happy I did that because they didn't have that weighing on their shoulders when they went out into the real world of getting a job. And I would do that again and again and again. So I'm happy for him that he's got a job that he enjoys. But honestly, we don't, and I've said this, we don't talk about the station and we don't talk about the Sixers because the Sixers, he's delusional. He believed in that nonsense of the process where it was a complete disaster, and they still stuck with Joel Embiid. And, that is just a total mistake.
Do you think you guys could have done a show together?
We were on the air together at times, and it was
no. Do you think you could have done a 236 year show with one another, like in afternoons? Do you think? Like with
is that how many days the weekdays are? 236.
Well, I think you and I do 236 back in the day when we were doing Monday through Friday. 230.
I worked every day, but I didn't even know what days.
I think we're not counting weekends.
Well, I guess I probably did more because that's how I got over 8,000.
Yeah, like the Gullies. Do you think you and your son could have done a show together in Philadelphia, an afternoon drive?
We could have, but they'd have to have security in the studio. After a period of time, they'd have to have armed guards in the studio because we have a difference of opinion. Hey, listen, I'm not going to criticize him directly, although I believe I've been criticized. I'm not going to do that. It's just, hey, listen, he's got his opinion.
Hey, Angelo even told me the story about him saving his life with the cheesesteak, and he goes, I can't rip Spike. For one reason. And I go,
well, Angelo asked me too. He says, would you have done that? I says, the only thing is I would have had to think about it before I did it.
No, you said probably not.
No, I said I'd have to think about it before I did it. I'd have to weigh the pluses and the minuses.
He goes, and I go, what about what Spike said? And he goes, I cannot rip that guy because he saved. He goes,
well, I'm not going to rip him because he's my kid. It's just, and he's not a kid anymore. As much as he does,
rip him over content.
It's okay. He believes what he.
Daryl Morey is a good general manager. I would take a dump on that and go show me where he's.
Well, I will just say Daryl Morey is the biggest fraud and con man in the history of upper management in the NBA. The biggest fraud and con man ever. He's a complete con man and a fraud. So I will say that, regardless of what he says. The bottom line is, it's just he does what he does. I don't think he's happy with his next birthday, and that's coming up.
Oh man!
But whatever. It's just, hey, listen. But I'll still wish him a happy birthday.
That's great. I mean, listen. Your son followed in your footsteps. He's making a mark over there.
I don't. Well, he's smart, and he did a lot of himself. But there's certain things that I take pride in the fact that I tried to help him.
He shouldn't have got into management.
Well, he liked management.
He should. He should be on the air, and he should.
Well, yeah, he wanted to.
He shouldn't have went up to FAN.
Well, he was doing music for the longest time, so that's why he got into management, I guess. And he just
the FAN thing. He should have stayed where he was. I mean, because he's better on the air. And I'm not saying he sucked I'm not saying that at all. Nobody. And plus, Boomer liked him, so that wasn't like that.
Yeah, Boomer's a good judge. I mean,
he liked him.
People, I like Boomer. Boomer almost strangled me one time because he didn't like me criticizing him as a football player.
He's gotten better though.
No, but he only strangled. But then we became friends after that.
Yeah, no, Boomer has. I've known Boomer over 40 years. We were teammates at Maryland before I went to Miami, and he and I are friends. And he's very sensitive guy. Very sensitive guy when he was younger, and he didn't take the criticism. I think it had a lot to do with him being drafted in the second round. He was really offended by that. And I'm like, what do you care? You played 13, 14 years. You're an MVP. What do you care? You're in the Super Bowl. He goes, yeah. And I go, yeah, you and Brady are like very petty. And so he goes, what do you rip? And I go, bro, it's all good. Howard, I got to tell you, man, it's been one of my favorite conversations with you because, again,
you got me to get people.
No, the Yadgaroff thing's awesome. I got to figure out how I can post it.
No. Don't do that.
I'm not. I won't.
It was a sarcastic comment.
See, look at him. Look at you. That's just why you're more of a pacifist now. Before
I'm
you
not more of a pacifist, but that's just going to,
come on, man. The
something like
guy
that. If you take
grading
that
training
seriously,
off of what you did, telling everybody that he built the state.
hey, he wasn't happy when he
How
got
Bigby
demoted
had
within the
more to do
company.
with that station
I
than
mean,
he
he got demoted within the company, I don't know, 15 years ago. He got relieved of his duties as a general manager, and he wasn't happy about that. And I understand that. And then he got back up to, whatever. But hey, it is what it is. The business is what it is. And it's kind of sad and it's kind of a shame. And let me tell you something. When a manager has success, Dave Roberts, I'll use him as an
love
example,
Dave
right?
Roberts.
Okay, Dave Roberts, because he's obviously good, and he's a really, really good person too, really good
Great
guy.
person.
Okay. But it's the players that won the championship. It's the players that won the World Series. When a team wins a World Series or a Super Bowl, all right, you're going to say Bill Parcells is a great coach, but he needed the players to do what they did for him. Bill Walsh was a great coach, but you needed Joe Montana and Steve Young. Well, actually, I guess Young didn't play under Bill Walsh. That was Seifert. Okay, but Joe Montana never lost a Super Bowl, never threw an interception in a Super. But you needed the players, and he had great players. All right, any great coach, and I don't consider Belichick a great coach because he milked Tom Brady, and it was an awful division. They always got a bye, so they always had an advantage because the division was awful and he had Brady. But whatever. But you still needed. So your leadership has to have the people, and when you don't give the people enough recognition for somebody to say, "I'm happy at what I accomplished," that's great. But what about the people that helped you accomplish that?
So do you think Doorman Sirianni's a better coach than Belichick?
No. Well, yet to be determined. No, it's too. Wait a minute. Sirianni
is George Seifert.
Wait a minute. But he's only been a head coach for what, 5 years?
Yeah, Seifert won 2 Super Bowls, and no one considers that guy a great coach. He won 108 games and 35 losses. No one would ever consider that guy a great coach because he had a great organization around him.
Okay, you're the one that criticized Jalen Hurts, right?
Yes.
Okay, they won a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts, the quarterback.
Yes.
What players won him the Super Bowl?
Okay, this is Xander's comments and what he says too. He goes, well, Sirianni figured out how to win with that dude. So that makes him a good coach.
Well, I don't know.
And there's something to that. I won't lie.
He gets players to play hard for him. They love him, they respect him, and they play hard. He's creative. Hey, listen, at some point, everybody has an expiration date. John Harbaugh is a great coach, but he only won one Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
Okay, one Super Bowl. So it's just, and he did it with, who was his best player when he won that? Was it Lamar Jackson was the quarterback? Was he the,
No, it was Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco. Okay. So, but he had to have a great year and he had to have really good players.
He had a great defense, remember?
But that's right. They had
with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and them guys.
Yep. And it's the same thing with when the Giants won and beat the Patriots when they were undefeated.
Yep.
And then Sheila Manning got the MVP award.
Hey, wait a minute. I got to tell you about that game, though.
It got the MVP award, but that defense was off the charts.
Okay, that's fair, but take a look at what Eli – there's not one player on offense that will ever be considered a Hall of Fame player. And they beat that Patriots team. There's nobody –
They only scored 17 points in that game.
I'm just saying, Howard.
They only scored 17 points.
And they won. What do you care?
Well, they won.
What do you care?
Whoa. The other team only scored 10. So why did they win?
If you win a Super Bowl 3-2,
better than that. You should be better than that.
Oh, my God. Wait a minute.
Did you play the game? Did you play the damn game?
And wait. So wait a minute here. If you're telling me if you win a Super Bowl 3-2, that's bad.
Well, it's not bad. You won.
You won.
But you had to have somebody. So
Howard, here's a rule for you. Here's a rule for you.
That's a bad.
Here's a rule for you. It's not how you drive; it's how you arrive.
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct.
I don't care
Okay.
how you drive, as long as you get
Okay.
there.
Okay. Plexiglass Burris was open on that final touchdown.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was wide open. He was wide open, and Brady was chased all over the place that game. He had no time.
What'd you make
Michael
of
Straight
flag football this last weekend?
garbage.
Wait, Tom Brady got $75 million for 3 hours of work from the Saudis. Jalen Hurts got $2.5 million, and DeVonta got like $1 million, and Barkley got $1 million for 3 hours of work. I don't know what the NFL's doing, and you know as well as I do. To see Jeffrey Lurie with a $50 million, $25 million receiver and a $20 million back running around doing that, I kept doing this the whole game. My family was watching it, and we're going, holy shit. I can't believe the Eagles allowed that.
Why? You can't get hurt. You're not allowed to touch the guy.
Wait, knees being blown out on non-contact? You see it all the time.
Yeah, no. It just, you can't stop him. It's like you can't stop players from going and playing in the World Baseball Classic.
Howard, that's right. Well, they're pushing this. The
You
league,
know what? There was somebody else. The NFL obviously is a strong arm. Was that an NFL? Was that an NFL licensed
actually,
game?
no, it wasn't. It was
was
through
not.
Fanatics, but the
And
television.
okay, you mentioned it. Michael Rubin is one of the most brilliant people, and I've known Michael for 30 years.
And he's tied into Brady.
Well, yeah, he's part of it. He pays Brady as a person in Fanatics.
Right.
He's tied into Brady. He's tied into a lot of guys. Michael Rubin makes everything, and I'd say let's say 98% everything Michael Rubin does, and he owns Fanatics, obviously. Almost everything he does turns to gold. I'd say platinum. Platinum's worth more than gold.
But
this
Fanatics
guy
is a business partner with the NFL.
Well, yeah, because Michael Rubin handles all their products, Fanatics. I know the whole
NFL properties.
properties. Right. Yeah, and he does a great job with them. Yeah, so he's tight with all them. So, Michael Rubin is the one that made that work. Because without him, you couldn't have gotten all those guys together.
$75 million.
And what did Tom Brady need $75 million for? When's enough?
Well, he makes $375 on that Fox deal, and he just made another $75 million. I mean,
he makes a lot of money from a lot of things. I'll tell you, he probably makes another. Well, now it's 75. He probably makes another over $100 million more on all his extraneous commercials and different things. Yeah.
He probably makes about $300-400 million a year. He owns. Remember, he's a part owner or percentage owner minority of the Raiders.
Yeah, that's another thing. I do have a problem with him doing games when he's doing games for Fox.
Think about that for a second, Howard. So you're in there talking to Lamar Jackson, and you're doing this. Hey, so like when you guys run that 2-eye safety and you're throwing the football and you're throwing that waggle route, are you trying to get the tight end open, or are you trying to get the receiver open? And when Lamar answers that, how does Brady not go back to the fucking Raiders?
Well, I don't know that he gets that in depth with the questions, but he's not supposed to be
limited.
Well, he's not supposed to be in the building, but he can talk to them. But still, talking to him is, and then he goes down before the game and talks to the guys, which is okay. That's all part of what they do. But he sees it, and I just don't think. I think there's a conflict of interest, but the NFL is not going to touch Tom Brady. Hey, listen, they gave him a 4-game suspension for cheating. I mean, 4 games? Are you kidding me? 4 games, and he restructured his contract for that year so he didn't lose that much money because he knew he was going to get. He knew he was going to get suspended that year.
Howard Flamethrower Eskin. That's your new name. You torched that building along with, and rightfully so. Those guys were crowing about how great they were, and
I'm not they're good. Some of the people there are really good people, really, and I really like those.
Nobody's talking about good people. Nobody. I'm not talking about good people.
But sports talk
Howard,
radio.
they're not good. Howard, that's not a good lineup.
Yeah. sports talk radio is not as good as it used to be.
Well,
And
that's
it
not
has
a
nothing to do with evolving. It has nothing to do with an old guy yelling on the lawn. That's a total nonsense. I still can do it. Maybe not as well as anybody, but I can be right up there.
But you're
if that's
unique, Howard. It was never about being the best. It was about being unique.
no, right. I didn't care about that. I just cared
Yeah.
about having fun and doing what I did. And I didn't want to change, but
Isn't that crazy? People used to, they ask me, they go, do you think you're the best? I go, I don't want to be that. I don't know that. I don't know who's better or who's worse. I just know this. I'm unique.
Well,
And
I know
that's all
one
I care
thing.
about.
I can't believe that people, and you, we're talking about it for 2 weeks of what I said. I just expressed an opinion.
No, it's
on
actually
fact.
grown like a tree now to where like Boomer and Brandon Tierney are going after each other.
Yeah, I know
now.
Brandon Tierney. I don't know what happened up there with those guys.
Well, here, I guess he said that Gio was a bad teammate, and Gio took that offensively, and he went back and said, "There's nobody at this radio station, including Spike, when Spike was here, that liked him, and nobody liked Brandon Tierney or to work with him." And he even brought Spike's name up. And so, like, he went in on him. He goes, he has no personality. He's not that funny. He has no personality, and he doesn't get it. And see, that's what, when Angelo and you were doing that, I would have had both of you guys on the next week doing shows against those guys, and I would have created something that puts the other station to sleep. But no, you're too narrow-minded, and you don't get it. There's a gimmick to it, too.
No, I'm not narrow-minded. You mean the company?
No, not you, but I would have put your asses on if this guy, David, who's going into the great beyond now to be with his family, he just had his ass kicked out. What you should have done was bring you two guys in, have you guys do a show, and then go back and forth. It would have been classic radio.
Well, wait a minute, but he was spending time with his family, so he didn't have time to think about that.
Yeah.
And his wife's very nice too, by the way.
What do you mean by that?
No, stop. Very nice person.
Howard, I
didn't want to put her in the mix of being not such a nice person.
Oh my God, I love talking with you. You never have.
I know you do.
Listen, I talked to you about 20 years ago. I had you on my Tampa station. You're the same dude. You're the same dude.
Well, because
no, if you don't remember this, and I know you don't, because I went after Erin Andrews. I think she stinks as a sideline reporter. And I went in on her, and I probably went way over the top, and I did. And you came in the next week and just went, she does suck. She's not good. And I'm going like, oh my God. And I had you on, and she goes, because you know why? She's a Gator. Her dad was a newscaster in Tampa when I was on. And I said she sucked. She was no good. And I went over the line. Some of the things I said, I should not have said it. I got a daughter now, and I regret some of the things. But I remember going like this. I remember going, Howard, and I read it somewhere, and you just went, she does suck. She's not good. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's stupid. And I'm like,
I didn't say she was stupid, but I don't think she, too many notes on a pad.
And I remember, and I go like, my God Almighty, I'm so happy to have that, because
you know what's interesting. She never got along with me on the sidelines. Every other female sideline reporter, I got along with great. And every once in a while, I stay in touch with those people.
Yeah.
And one of them just had a birthday, and I wished her a happy birthday. And it's just.
Like, there's great women broadcasters. Hannah Storm's a great broadcaster. I mean, I know her very well. She's great, even though she went to Notre Dame. It's all good. I mean, I always give her shit about that because, when she was at school and I was at school, we used to kick the shit out of their team. And so
yes.
When Miami was beating them people up, I said, hey, I guess Touchdown Jesus took a knee this week, huh? She got so mad at me.
Tell her South Bend is the haven of hypocrisy.
Hey, no wonder that guy's resting and going off to be with his family here. Hey, Howard, thank you. He said he built WIP into what it is today.
He didn't say that.
Barrett Media.
No, he didn't say that.
He said that he had to figure out a way to give a nice send off to Angelo. And, I was looking around for, I was looking here and I go, here's a nice interview here. And I go, yeah, you're talking about the life of Angelo, talking about a nice send off. And I'm looking down here and I go, funny, I don't see a nice send off for Howard here. Where the hell is that? Where's the send off for Howard? I must have missed it. Huh.
It's called lack of loyalty and no heart.
You mean no balls?
Well, I don't know. I've never seen him with his pants down. So,
well, if I did, I guarantee you I'd be calling them Raisinets. Howard.
That's not right.
Hey, Howard, thank you. I appreciate you, and I do love you, man. You're one of the best of all.
That's great. All right.
All right.
Just be careful what you put out there.
Oh no, I've already been.
Okay, my next show is tomorrow night. Wednesday night, 7:30 live. But of course, it's on all the social media platforms forever. Subscribe to YouTube, and they'll notify you. Don Mattingly, who's now a Phillies coach, is on with me tomorrow with baseball season starting on Thursday. So I don't know if it starts on Wednesday night. I don't know if it's Wednesday night with another team, but I know Thursday is when the Phillies open the season.
Here is let me give you a quick one on Mattingly. The only era of Yankee baseball that truly one of the absolutely greats, they never did enough to build a great baseball team around him. He's truly one of the greats. He's not the greatest Yankee first baseman. Obviously, it's Gehrig. But, boy, I'll tell you, he's the second best greatest Yankee first baseman.
It's a disgrace that he's not in the Hall of Fame.
It is. As long as it took – like, who do you think was a better player, Mattingly or Dick Allen?
Dick Allen, because he had different types of personalities, obviously. Dick Allen wasn't a good fielder. But Dick Allen in a 5-year stretch, Mattingly had a 5-year stretch that was unbelievable. Dick Allen in a 5-year stretch was better than Mays and Aaron. Yeah. But he hit home runs, hit for average, had speed. So he did all those things. Yeah, Dick Allen was a better player. But some of the guys that are getting into the Hall of Fame, you gotta be kidding me. Well, I mean, Scott Rowland was a great defensive third baseman, but were his numbers Hall of Fame?
Hall of Fame.
Well, how about these people that are talking about Chase Utley as a Hall of Famer? That's a joke. Brett Boone has the same numbers as Chase Utley, and same numbers, but Brett Boone has 4 Gold Gloves. Utley has 0. Utley is not a Hall of Famer. Is not a Hall of Famer.
No, Rowland's not either. Machado's a better ball player.
Oh, Machado is, yeah. Well, but whatever. There's too many guys that get in now. Jeff Kent, it's about time he got in because he had some really good numbers.
Think Andrew Jones was?
Who was it? Brett Boone said he played with Andrew Jones.
Great center fielder.
He said he was a great player.
He hit over 430 homers. I mean, you know.
Yep.
You think Jim Edmonds is?
I'm not so sure. I got to look at his numbers closer, but he was a really good player, but I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer.
Jimmy Rollins, you think he is?
I think he's more of a Hall of Famer. He's borderline. I'm not sure he is. He's borderline, but he's certainly more deserving than Chase Utley, and Jimmy Rollins has no chance. Chase Utley's still on the vote. It keeps on increasing every year. When the number increases for your Hall of Fame voting, did he hit more home runs during that 1-year period where the percentages of votes go up? Did he hit more home runs? Did he get some base hits? What did he do in that year to get more? Don't even get me started.
What are you talking about? Vitamins?
No. I mean, no. What did he do in the time that he's not playing?
Okay.
Yet he gets a higher percentage of vote each year.
Got it.
What did he do to get a higher percentage of vote? What did he do?
I don't know. Do you think Bonds should be in?
No, because he was a Hall of Famer. But hey, if you tell the truth, they might have let you in. They might have let you in. The truth will always set you free.
You think Rose should be in?
Yes. Yeah, he didn't cheat the game. He didn't cheat the game. I know that for a fact. I knew Pete really well. Whether he bet on baseball, he didn't bet against his own team.
Yeah, but the thing, my problem with that whole thing was with Rose, and I interviewed Rose, one of the last interviews before he died, right here on this show. And you know what I said to him? I said, Pete, you were never ever questioned on being a gambler when you played. It was when you managed. How did you tie both of those in? I mean, Howard, how did they tie both of them in? I mean, Rose the player and Rose the manager, aren't they two different dudes?
Hey, listen, yes. If you don't want him to work for a team, but they wanted him for what was that
All century.
The All Century team? Oh, because somebody was paying for it, and they said if Pete Rose isn't there, yep, yeah, it's just so they're hypocrites. It's kind of a shame. It's just he almost got in, and then he had something come out. Schmidt and Joe Morgan and somebody else went up to talk to the commissioner. I think it was Selig.
Was it Selig?
I don't know if it was Giamatti or Selig, but I think it was Selig.
Listen, I say this: if Giamatti had not died, because Giamatti had some type of handshake agreement with Rose that he would sit out a year or two, but when Giamatti died and Faye Vincent took over, Faye Vincent was
adamant about not letting him in.
Adamant on not letting him in.
Yeah, how can you have the guy that has the most hits? No. One of the most recognizable players in the game of baseball ever.
You can't say you can't say the history of baseball without saying Pete Rose.
Yeah, right. That's exactly right. So he should.
Be by the way, this weekend too, right? On Saturday, you got
Saturday morning at 8:00, and we'll talk the NCAA because it's getting into those final teams getting into the Final Four, and it'll be all the top teams, all the teams that pay the most money. So. What that's what we'll talk about.
My friend,
Mattingly tomorrow night, Wednesday night.
Fantastic. I can't wait. Mazel tov. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you very much, and you know this. Thank you so much, Howard.
All right. Thanks. And you have a great day, and try to keep me out of trouble.
Yeah. You know what? I have to put my pen down now because I said I promise. So I'm gonna be a good guy here. Howard, okay. Thank you, my friend.
All right. Take care.
You got it. The great Howard Eskin. That's a great conversation. All right, let me pay some bills here.